Uh, so I'm going to talk today about what I'm doing after running Outfit 7 for the last year. As you may know, Outfit 7 is one of the top 5 publishers in the world in the app space, mostly known for Talking Tom and Talking Friends franchise. So those are little animals that repeat after you, and they're really funny. You can entertain yourself, your kids, share videos of Talking Tom on the web. And we started a year ago, a small team of people in Slovenia, and grew to about 250 million downloads in 1 year, which is probably the fastest growing company in the app space in the world. That was a very interesting experience, and running the company, I realized that there is a much bigger opportunity out there. So the way we initially thought about developing an app on Android and iOS was something that other people, like our competitors in the space, did as well, which is there's a lot of people with these devices. The number of them is increasing by about 150,000 per day on the iOS camp, and then a lot more on Android. They cast their votes to mechanics that they find interesting. So assuming that the distribution of votes is efficient, then you get a pretty decent insight into what the demand is for what kind of mechanics, games, and content. So if you look at the top 200 rank, they will give you a very good idea into what people are actually looking for. So you, for example, find this many arcade games, puzzles, flashlight apps, talking animals, and so on. So if we look at the ranks, and we saw that the talking mechanics is popular, is having a lot of traction despite the poor quality of the application. So we said, if we, number one, improve the quality dramatically, and if we make it more viral, if we make it free, and if we make it very, very simple and engaging, then it's got to work. In theory and in practice, it has to work. So that's what we've done. We never spent money on promoting the first app. We just launched Talking Tom. People discovered it through PR, blogs, and so on. And then it took off. It got the first million downloads in the first 14 days. And then after that, we realized that this mechanics is actually very interesting because not only people engage with the talking animal, but they actually entice to share the content. So we realized not only we are now entertaining people, but we're giving them for the first time an opportunity to become storytellers, to tell stories that are relevant to them and share them with friends around them. And that's very, very powerful. So we've done more of the same. We've done more Talking Friends. And with each new character, we realized distribution is very hard. How many of you have downloaded an app in the last week, for example? Can you raise hands? Most of you have downloaded one app. How many of you found this app through the charts? You went through the charts and discovered the app. How many of you found this app through search? Okay, so what's happening is most of the people discover apps through ranks. Apple and Android organize content based on charts. So, and the charts are organized by some sort of algorithm. The two most important charts are paid and free, and they're organized by volume, number of downloads per period, acceleration, engagement, retention, but mostly it's volume. So new apps get the preference in terms of getting the charts, but then if they cannot support those charts, then they start to decline down. And that's what our experience was as well. So after we launched the second and third game, we realized that it's a lot more than the content itself and the quality of the app. Is the distribution, the cross-promotion that's critical. So we went on and pioneered some of the concepts that are best practices in the industry right now into how you think about cross-promotion in between apps. So that allows us to scale our business exponentially from, the first, I said Talking Tom got the first million downloads in 2 weeks to the last Talking Tom app that was launched a couple of months ago that got the first million downloads in less than 24 hours. So the pressure on charts by companies like ours and others that make decent amounts of money in the space is very, very strong. It is very hard for you as a developer to acquire these charts. It's becoming a lot more expensive. especially after Apple has taken a lot more strict stance on something called incentivized promotions. You're not allowed anymore to incentivize users to download your game by paying virtual currency. So in the post-incentivized world, the prices of an install has gone up from about 35 to 50 cents to $1 to $2 per install, which makes it prohibitively expensive for new entrants in the space. So if you're an investor now or a developer, the key question for you is not how good your game is, but how you're going to get distribution. I'll be, as an investor, I'll be really carefully looking at what a developer thinks about distribution. I think most of the time there's no right answer right now. The answer is just raise a lot of money and try to build a network of apps and start to really invest smartly on customer acquisition channels across different channels, so that at the end you average out to below $1 per install. That's what's happening right now. So I look at that and I saw the opportunity as bigger than just creating a bunch of talking friends. But I saw there's 500,000 apps in the App Store, and a lot of them are great. There's not just enough space for them in the top charts. Top 100, top 200 apps make money, but top 1,000 they don't. And some of them are actually really good. Let me tell you a story. So last year, a game called Train Yard Express from a developer called Matt in Canada was the first one to beat Angry Birds, and was featured by Apple, went to the rank #1, and people blogged about it because it was the first one to really beat Angry Birds. And people thought this is going to be the next rodeo. If you look at the historic ranks of the company, they launched the app and they priced it at $2.99. It didn't actually acquire any rank. It probably didn't do any money. And Apple discovered the app. They call up the guy and say, we're going to feature you as Game of the Week. You're going to get a lot of traction from our feature. But you should change the price to $1, because there's no such thing as $2.99 in the App Store. Who would buy an app for $2.99? It's too expensive. So they changed the price to $1, and they went to spot #1 and stayed there for a couple of days, after which they slid to #2, #3, and so on. So they stayed there for about 3 weeks, and I think they made more than $500,000 in those 2 weeks. After which they start to decline. They don't have enough leverage. They don't have any other apps to support their rank, and they start to decline down. And they change the price back to $2.99, which is a very bad idea. They lose ground immediately. They change back to $1, go up a little bit, and then they change back to $2.99 and go down. And for 3 months, they were not even in the top 1,000 rank. So how it's possible that one app that people vote as a great game, and it's #1, and it's better than Angry Birds, is now below the 1,000 rank? How's that possible, right? The economy is so big, but it's very inefficient the way distribution works. The big guys get bigger and the small guys get smaller. So I started a company called Iddiction that's solving this problem. And happy to take some questions now or later. All right, thanks.